Today I'm going to demonstrate a nice way to use Chrome to set up your own virtualization lab vSphere web client. Let me explain. If you have ESXi 5.5, you're going to want vSphere web client. If you're using Windows 8.1, you end up with Internet Explorer version 11. But any version of Internet Explorer, I believe you'll get this nasty warning, basically telling you to use something that's supported. So let's do that. Now, using Chrome, you can run into issues as well. Adobe Flex is the architecture for the vSphere web client, and it can lead to, Chrome can basically bug out on you. Too many tabs, or you have problems, and now you lose your remote sessions and everything you're doing in Chrome. So I like to use a separate version of Chrome just as a vSphere web client. Let's get started first with the basic Chrome download. This is a vanilla Windows 8.1 machine. All of this would be the same on Windows 8 or Windows 7. And again, when I say vanilla, all it has for a browser is Internet Explorer. So we're going to go ahead and fix that and make Chrome our default for day-to-day browsing. That's fine. Okay, now we have that out of the way. We're going to use Chrome for the first time, and we're going to say for HTTP links, use Chrome. Okay, Chrome set up, we have a shortcut. Great. Next, Chrome Canary. If we type in Chrome Canary download, we can get a second version of Chrome. You'll see where I'm going with this and why soon enough, but I already hinted at it. I want two versions of Chrome, one for day-to-day browsing, which we already installed, and Chrome Canary just as a dedicated vSphere web client. Okay, there you have it, your two Chromes. What is next? Well, we said we're going to use Chrome Canary, and we can go ahead and test that it works. It does. Now, to browse our way to vCenter, let's go ahead and tweak our host file. So in a lab, you might want to hit Windows plus X and go to Command Prompt as admin and say yes. Open administrative command prompt in Windows 7, just a little differently without your mouse, but that's fine. Okay, I'm editing my host file. I'm going to type in 10.10. That's my ESXi host, 10.10.151, my vCenter host. So now if we ping the result, so now we can ping our bits of infrastructure by IP. Obviously, your host names and your IPs might differ in your lab. So now we bring up Chrome Canary. We can type in proceed past the certificate warning. All right, we have two pieces to do. The vSphere web client we need to install, and right over here, we also want the regular vSphere client for occasional use. Okay, that took a while. vSphere Web Client is slow to install on Windows 8.1 with default antivirus settings. Anti-malware and PKUnzip during the first minute or two, it just sits there. So it's kind of good to bring up Task Manager to get some grip on what it's doing in the background. Right now, for instance, .NET optimization is running and bogging down the CPU right after the install. So that's the vSphere Web Client, that's the vSphere client install. That's done. Now I like to clean up. So first I'm going to pin this to the taskbar, and I really don't need any of these icons on my desktop. That's just how I am. All right, what's next? Remember I said vSphere Web Client is next. So if we go to log into the vSphere Web Client, you'll see that we're at a point now where we can bookmark this and make a shortcut. But we want to make sure pop-ups are allowed. And right here, remote console, we need to allow as well. So always run on this site. We'll go ahead and log in. All right, so remember I mentioned we have to control pop-ups. So if we click on the little padlock here and go to permissions, we can fix the pop-up problem. Always allow on this site. And now we can go back to the login page. That's the URL we want to bookmark. That's the one we want to make a shortcut for. Click the three little lines, click on Tools, click on Create Application Shortcuts. I don't really need it on the desktop, but I do like the idea of putting it in the taskbar. And we are done. You'll see the menu bars disappeared, and we have two different icons, one slightly blurrier than the other. I really like the way this works out. We don't need Canary showing. I'm not going to use that for anything else. It's now Canary under the covers for this vSphere web client. So watch what happens when we put our mouse over it. We got Chrome for regular browsing. We've got VMware vSphere client. And we've got VMware vSphere web client. So let's go ahead and test those. Install a certificate. Now let's try the vSphere web client. Windows plus right arrow to bring it up on the right side of the screen. This yellow, which used to be red on older versions of Chrome, is about certificates. Dealing with certificates, if you're rebuilding a lab often, it may not be worth your while. You can just go past that error. Uploading files, remote control, those are important things to test. Make sure you have integration working. Okay, so it does warn you about client integration. And it downloads it. So we're now getting a plugin. And it's asking us, please close our browsers. So we can go ahead and do that. Interesting that it thought Explorer was open. It still thinks Explorer is open. Okay. Interesting. So we're now getting the client integration plugin installed. And this is our last bit of desktop tweaking. And now we should be ready to administer our home lab. That's based on 5.5. We already know the left icon worked. Now we want to make sure the vSphere web client is fully functional, with uploading of files available to us and remote consoles available to us. Okay, we don't want it to ask us anymore. We want it to just allow. And now we are able to get to files on this local machine. Yeah, a little bit of a strange thing to upload to the data store, but I want to make sure a file can actually move. Okay, Chrome set up and made the trip. Close it. And try again. There's one other important thing here. If we look at Task Manager, we will see in certain circumstances Chrome Canary build still running. So if we hit the Windows key and just start typing Canary, Google Chrome Canary launches. One thing I like to do, okay, we have a firewall question coming up. Not sure why it waited till now to come up. Interesting. And we want to go to Tools. Sorry. We want to go to Settings, Advanced, scroll down, and continue running background apps when Chrome is closed. I don't want that. If it acts squirrely, I want to close Chrome Canary and be done with it and not have it running in memory without having to manually kill off processes. Okay? So now we're ready. To launch it again, we know Chrome is not running in the background. And now we go to upload a file. It should no longer ask permission because the integration is already there. Experience the network error. Okay. Instead of saying file exists, you want to overwrite, it just gets a network error. But anyhow, it's working. Integration's working. That's the key message there. So that's good. Peculiar, but it did work. Okay. Now let's go over and do a remote console. And there we go. Yep, it's functioning all right. It's good. Close it. Look at Task Manager. We should see no copies of Chrome running at all. We don't. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching and for visiting tinkertry.com.